Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for your patience as we work through our technical difficulties for today. My name is Shariette Finley. I'm one of the academic advisors with the University Advisement Center Online. And today we have a special presentation for you. One of our career success librarian, Mrs. Karen Doster Greenleaf, is going to share information with us on career and college success guidance and resources. Karen, we thank you so much for joining us to share this information with us today. It's going to go out beyond the people who were able to sign in today, including to students in our PCO 1020 classes and other online students. But at this time, Karen, I'm going to turn the presentation over to you and to everyone else who joined us and is participating today. You all please feel free to ask your questions as Karen goes through the presentation. You can type your questions in the chat box, and Karen will actually answer those questions as we go through the presentation. Thanks a lot. Thanks again for joining us today.
All right. So thank you so much for that introduction. Welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to be speaking about the career and college success guidance and resources that are available to you as Georgia State University students, specifically what resources the library and what student support services are available to you on the different campuses. So very briefly, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Karen Doster Greenleaf. I am the Student Success Librarian at Georgia State University Library. I work out of the Dunwoody campus. However, I float to all 6 of the campuses, and I also work extremely closely with our online learning librarian, where we are working every day to kind of figure out the best ways to make sure that our resources are available for our students that are taking classes online. So in today's webinar, I plan to cover the careers. I'm going to be breaking down the resources by focusing on career resources, including library materials as well as GSU career services. And then I'm going to jump into talking about what resources are available to help support you while you're here in college. And that also includes what help is available to you through the library and then what's available to you throughout the larger university. So real quickly, I'd like to talk to you guys very briefly about what your own personal goals might be. So my first question to the group is, what do you hope to learn more about in today's webinar? And you can just answer using the chat box. Well, these are some really great answers, and I do plan to address all of them in today's webinar. So if I don't, make sure to ask me at the end. But I do believe that we are going to be touching on each one of the things that you would hope to learn about today. My next question is, what is one college goal that you have set for yourself? these are all really great answers. And my goal today is to is hopefully that the resources that I share with you are going to help you meet those goals. Because at the library, that is our main objective, is to make sure that we provide the resources and communicate and interact with the students to make sure that you can meet those college goals. So let's talk about career resources. Many of you had mentioned that you want to learn more regarding how do you find a career after, or how do you find a job after graduation, and also what might be the direction that you need to go in. So we have a lot of materials, both print and online, that are accessible for our students. So if you're not already familiar, in particular in regards to what direction you should be going in, you're in college and some of you may have an idea of what you want to be focusing on. Some of you may not, and that's not unusual for college students. But at Georgia State, we actually, and particularly through Perimeter College, we have a website called Pathways that outlines for our students all the different pathways that you can jumpstart your academic career through. If you want to go into the STEM field, or if you're looking at potentially maybe doing something with English or within the humanities, the pathways can kind of give you a breakdown of where you can start. And so if you go or just Google GSU Pathways, it will outline what is entailed within the pathway that would eventually lead you into your bachelor's degree, as well as providing you some information regarding like what classes you would be taking. So it's a really great resource to just get started. And you'll see here that there's breakdowns in regards to like what does studying this field mean? What does it mean to be a student of, for example, biology? And what I also think is very useful through this resource is that at the bottom of each of the entries, there's a list of careers that you could pursue. And I always find it really interesting when students stumble across a career that they didn't even think was connected to a particular major or pathway that they had chosen for themselves. So it's really easy to access and locate, as I mentioned, just Googling GSU Pathways. Now, I'm going to go through all of the resources, and then I'm going to take a pause and we're going to do some live demonstrations with some of these resources. So if you have any questions, just feel free to type them up in the chat box. The next resource through the university is called What Can I Do with This Major? This is actually a website made available through the GSU Career Services. To access it, the most direct way is just Google GSU, what can I do with this major? Now, it is important that you include GSU because this is a service that many universities use. It's a great resource for students. And so you want to make sure that you're accessing this GSU resource so that you can log into it, because you will need to use your GSU username and password, just like you do to log into iCollege, to access this tool. So within What Can I Do at This Major, you would select your major. You'll see here on the screen that there's a section that says View All Majors. Under that tab, it's a drop-down menu of pretty much any major under the sun that you could select. And you'll see here in our demonstration, we've pulled the computer science. And within computer science, it breaks down the area that you would be looking at, potential employers, strategies to make the most out of pursuing a major in computer science. It also will provide resources on professional organizations that you could pursue, particular careers that align with computer science. This is a resource that I will be demoing in just a little bit, but just to give you a little bit of a snapshot. Now, as for the GSU library, we have databases as well as print materials that you can search for through our library catalog. The three databases that have been extremely beneficial for our students is a resource called Ferguson's Career Guidance. This particular database contains resources geared towards helping you get that career. So there's sample resumes, tips for writing the best resume. There's interview tips. Believe it or not, it's actually beneficial to practice interviewing. So if you haven't done so, I highly recommend looking into that or possibly signing up for a mock interview with the Career Services Office. There's resources about how do I choose my major. So there's some quizzes or tests to kind of help you pick maybe what might be the best fit for you. Another resource is called Occupational Outlook Handbook. This is a database that's actually the content within comes from the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is the governmental entity that scans and does surveys and censuses of what are the employment trends in our country in regards to what is the average income, what sort of education do you need to pursue this career. And I'll break down some of that when we do the demo. And lastly, there's ONET. This is a much more robust database that breaks down not only what you need to pursue this career, but will actually go into detail in regards to what does the day-to-day look like when pursuing a particular career, going to the point of breaking down how much time do I spend answering emails, how much time do I spend interacting with patients or customers or just people in general. So it really gives you a nice in-depth view of what would this actually look like if I decided to go down this path and pursue this particular career, which is important because we want to ensure that our students pursue a career that's going to make them fulfilled and happy in life as well. So within our library catalog, we have resources like how to choose a college major, very similar to the resources that you find in our college career or our Ferguson's career guidance, making your major decision. So resources that can really help guide you and direct you, including content for scholarships. We have books on what universities and what organizations have scholarships, sometimes tied to the major that you are choosing to pursue. So let's go live. The first resource that I'm going to go to is the What Do I Do with This Major? And then we're going to go to the library's website. To get to the library's website, you would just type in library.gsu.edu and it would take you straight there. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And as I mentioned earlier, it really is as simple as typing in GSU, what can I do at this major? As you can see, I have used this resource many a time when working with students. So you'll see here where it says Explore Major Career, University Career Services, GSU. This is the link that you want to click on to get to this resource. Now, from the Career Services homepage, you'll click on the link that says, what can I do with this major? You'll see that they also have a link to ONET, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. So click on what can I do with this major? Now, I'm already logged into my GSU account, so that is why it did not ask me to log in. However, if you are on a student computer, you're not on your home device that already has your account logged in, you will be asked to log in with your GSU username and password, so just keep that in mind. Now, for most students, you're going to go directly to View All Majors. They provide some general areas that you can choose from, such as business, education, engineering, law and justice, but you can also check out the How to Use This resource page, and this will provide you with some information regarding how to make the most of the website. And I definitely encourage students to explore this, this information just to make sure that you're making the most out of what can I do with this major. Now, I'm going to select business. And then from the business category, you can select more specific majors, such as athletics and sports, business analytics, economics, economics, human resources, Let's go down to marketing. I'm going to select marketing. It's actually a great major to pursue in regards to providing a lot of different opportunities for students. So as I mentioned earlier when I was going over a quick overview of what resources are available, you'll see here that there is an area including sales and promotion, and it provides a more detailed list of what that could entail. Now, it doesn't give specific companies, but it gives a broad perspective of what who potential employers could be, such as manufacturers or financial companies, insurance companies, and so forth. The strategies that would make you most hireable within this field. Now, some degrees have more than one area. Some might just have one. In marketing, you'll see that there's also marketing management, market research, purchasing and procurement, social media management. So there's a lot of different directions one major can take somebody. So this is a really great opportunity to see that there's a lot of different directions that you could take your career based off of the major that you select. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. After what you can do with this major covers all the different areas that you could potentially pursue, there's a nice general information that includes what most entry-level positions are going to look like, how you could look for promotion within the field, so looking at maybe getting an MBA. Also, things like joining the American Marketing Association. And that brings us down to the second page, or the bottom of the page, which includes sections on professional associations, a link to our Occupational Outlook handbook, related resources, and also employment opportunities. If you are not already familiar, professional associations are a great way for students to get an idea of what it's going to actually be like to be in this profession. You do not already have to have a job in a lot of these fields to become a student member in the professional associations. For example, if you are pursuing a teaching degree, there are student chapters within these larger national professional organizations that would give you a great networking opportunity. So joining things like American Marketing Association or Business Marketing Association would give you a foot in the door and give you an opportunity to meet professionals already in the field, look for internship opportunities. Some of these associations even have scholarships. So if you're looking for funds to help you pursue this degree, these professional associations can be a great asset. The related resources links will often link you to not necessarily professional associations, but other entities that are related to the field of marketing. So websites like Market Research Careers, or if you are interested in pursuing an MBA degree, the related resources are all tied into just improving or enriching the career seeking experience. And then, of course, something that is always useful when you're looking at pursuing a career is what are the employment opportunities, such as marketing jobs, media bistro, and sales job. Now, one thing that I always recommend students to do, even before you're looking to get on the job market, is go and look at what are the job listings asking for. Go to marketingjobs or salesjobs.com and take a look at the different listings and see what skills, what sort of experiences that they're looking for so that you can start building them when you're in college. And so that way, when you do graduate, you can ensure that you are the best fit that you could possibly be for that particular career. So I am going to see here. Pull up the chat box real quick. So before I go on to one of our other resources, does anybody have any questions about what can I do with this major? No? Okay. So To access Occupational Outlook, there are two ways that you can pursue it. The first is you can jump to any of the jobs listed within your What Can I Do at This Major page. You'll see that there's a set list provided, including market research analysis. However, if you see a career that you're interested in pursuing not listed on the What Can I Do at This Major page for the degree that you're looking to pursue, you can actually access the Occupational Outlook Handbook through the university library. So from the university's library homepage, all of our databases are organized alphabetically. So if you know the name of a resource, such as Occupational Outlook Handbook, you can go to our Databases by Name section and just click on the letter that the database starts with. So we're going to click on O for Occupational Outlook Handbook. And I'm going to scroll down until you can see them. You'll see here that we have Occupational Outlook Handbook as well as ONET. Now, today we're just going to be focusing on Occupational Outlook Handbook, but you now know how you can access both resources. So one of the things that I really like about this particular resource is how easy it is to navigate. However, there is one trick that I like to point out to students. You'll notice on the website that there are two search boxes. There's one up here in the red banner, and then there's one in the blue banner. When you're looking for information on a particular career, make sure that you're using the search box in the blue banner because that's going to search within the handbook. If you search for your career within the search box up here at the top, it's actually going to look through the entire Bureau of Labor Statistics website and probably include a lot of information that you're not looking for. So just a search tip, stay within this blue box. So that's where you would go if there is a specific career that you're looking for. So say, for example, you're wanting to look for information about being a dental hygienist. So we could do a search for that. Now, before I click go, you also can browse careers if you know that you're interested in working within a particular occupation group. Again, we broke it down through what can I do at this major, such as education or healthcare. You also can search specifically by maybe what sort of education you need to have. So say you're not a really clear idea on what you want to major in, but you know that you want to pursue something that only requires a bachelor's degree or that you know has a high growth rate, meaning that it's very likely that once you graduate, there'll be jobs available versus pursuing a career where maybe the job rate is decreasing. So you can also search for jobs that way. All things that are going to be extremely beneficial for you while you pursue your future career. So I'm going to select Go. And you'll see here that right at the top, there is an entry for dental hygienist. Now you'll see that there's also a couple other entries, including healthcare occupations and dental assistants. And of course, if you're interested in maybe the differences between a dental hygienist and a dental assistant, you can always check those out. Now on the front page of the career handbook entry, it's going to give you a summary, which will give you some quick facts, including what's the median pay, job outlook, what education you need, what do they do, the work environment. But it's just going to be a quick snapshot. It's not going to give you a lot of detail. To get more detail about the career regarding those areas, you would need to select from the tabs up here at the top. So if you wanted to learn more about how to become one, what the job outlook really is, and maybe more specifically, pop-ups, more specifically what the job outlook might be in your area. This is really important for people that want to stay in Georgia, or if you're looking to move, what are the job prospects in those areas? So you'll see here under the job outlook, employment of dental hygienists is projected to grow, and how it compares to other professions, including other health technologists or technicians, what the job prospects are, and so forth. The how to become one page I find also very beneficial because it doesn't just tell you you need an associate's degree. It actually does specifically state what that degree needs to be in. Also, some important qualities. There's a lot of things that go into a career that aren't necessarily things that you learn in a book. There's a lot of soft skills. And so Occupational Outlook Handbook actually breaks those down for you. So things like critical thinking, communication skills, interpersonal skills, problem solving skills. These are all things that you build on in your classes through your engagement with the university and student groups, or maybe a job that you have right now. But they're all things that will play a critical role in your future career as well. Another thing that is extremely important is if there's any licenses or certifications or registrations that you need to have to pursue this career. A lot of times, particularly careers in the health field, require you to not only get the degree, but then take a test at the end, some sort of examination at the end that then certifies you to actually work in that field. And so that's something that's very important to be mindful of while you're pursuing it in college. The last tab that I'm going to touch on is called Similar Occupations. And this is just a really useful section to look at if you're interested in seeing how you might pursue other careers in this field. So say, for example, you're a dental hygienist for several years and you want to grow. Well, maybe you pursue becoming a dentist and you can see what that would entail and look like. Same thing goes for you really like working in the health field, but you don't want to be in dentistry anymore. So you maybe want to go back to school and pursue things in radiation or maybe become a nurse. And so you can see what that is going to look like and how that might compare to what you're currently doing in your career. So that is Occupational Outlook Handbook. As I mentioned earlier, it is a great resource to find out what it's going to take to pursue this career, what the work environment is going to look like, what they do, how do you become one, and for some people, more importantly, what your job outlook is going to be. Now, I will say in the state and area data, it will also outline occasionally the salaries. So that might be something of value to you as well. So before I jump back to our presentation and start talking about some of the career services, does anybody have any questions about Occupational Outlook Handbook and how to access it or the ONET database? No? Okay. The one last resource I'm going to show you from the library's website regarding career resources is our Ferguson's Career Services. So selecting from our A to Z list of databases, I'm going to select F for Ferguson. You'll see here Ferguson's Career Guidance. It is one of our newer databases. We added it this summer, but it already has been a great resource. So if you are accessing our resources off campus, you will be asked to log in. Again, it's just your username and password that you use to log into iCollege. Someone asked, how do you access it? Are you referring to the Occupational Outlook Handbook? So there's two ways that you could access it depending on how you are researching a particular career. If you are starting at the what can I do with this major, there may be a particular career that you're looking to pursue at the bottom of that major's page under the Occupational Outlook. Or if you go to the library's website, and I'll take just a step back real quick. So from the library's homepage, and if you don't know how to access the library homepage, you would just type in library.gsu.edu. As I mentioned earlier, you would access databases we have by the title of the resource. So in this case, it's Occupational Outlook Handbook. They're all organized alphabetically by name. So to get to the handbook, you would go to O for Occupational Outlook Handbook. And then you would scroll down the list until you found it. So there you go. And you would do the same thing to access, again, the Ferguson's Career Guidance Center. So similar to Occupational Outlook Handbook, you could do a search for a particular career. You could also browse what might be popular industries or popular careers that you could pursue. There's also a section on how to plan your education that I find very, very useful. Some of these are resources that I had mentioned earlier in regards to choosing a career, or choosing a college, or choosing a college major. This one, let me click back. Applying for student loans, work-study programs, financial aid directories, and again, college planning timeline, all materials that might be very beneficial for you. As I mentioned earlier, the Ferguson's database also incorporates information that will help you launch a career, including why you need a resume, examples of cover letters, so like common mistakes that you can try to avoid, researching career options, and preparing for an interview. This section is going to provide information on how do you practice for an interview, might provide you some sample interview questions because a lot of industries and a lot of HR departments use the same questions. So if you can kind of get a feel for the type of questions you might be asked and you can practice them, that always is very helpful when you're in an interview. Internships, apprenticeships, if you can get into one, they will always help you out. So information about how you can locate an internship and how it's going to be beneficial for you. This section is definitely going to be of help. So there's also some just helpful reading, including from our career experts. So usually just short blog entries, but things like how to prepare for 3 parts of an interview, maybe how to write great networking emails. So if you're on LinkedIn and you see somebody come up on your feed that is in a profession that you want to pursue, how do you reach out to them? Can you reach out to him? All of this information is available or discussed in a lot of these blog posts. So that's also a really great resource to explore in this particular database. So I'm going to go to the Launch Your Career section. And I'm just going to highlight the resume, cover letters, and interviewing section real quick. And there's also career tip videos, so if reading isn't your thing, there's some more multimedia content as well. But as I mentioned earlier, there's including tips for writing cover letters and resumes, there are also samples. So you'll see here you can view and download sample cover letters or download sample resumes. If you're not familiar with the term cover letters, some professions, some careers do require you to include a cover letter that expresses a letter with your resume that expresses how you're best qualified, why you want the job. Each field is a little different, so I would encourage you to look at samples of resumes and cover letters that are directed towards your career. So if you're wanting to pursue marketing, review and look at resume and cover letters for jobs within that field. Same thing goes for the health profession, education. You want to make sure that you are building your own resume and materials based off of others within that field and not just using generic sample resumes or cover letters. This will definitely give you a leg up. So make sure to be looking for those when you're using these resources. Same thing goes with the career skills. All of these links will lead you to resources that will help you build those particular skills. So ethics and etiquette, leadership skills, and so forth. So I'm going to go back to, stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to go back to our presentation. And so the next thing that I'm going to talk about real quick is our career services. So if you haven't had an opportunity to take advantage of GSU's Career Services Department, I highly, highly recommend it. There is an office at each one of our campuses, downtown and all 5 of the perimeter campuses. And the staff that work there are phenomenal. They're extremely knowledgeable. They're very big on helping students get up and running within their LinkedIn account. So if you haven't started a LinkedIn account and you're not really certain how to make the most of it, the people in our career services department can really, really help you out, and I highly encourage you to reach out to them. They also have a lot of events and career fairs. So if you are interested, they have a calendar of events. You'll see I have the address listed there at the bottom. And so if you would like to sort of have like a nice introduction to what they can provide to you, I would recommend checking that out and taking some time to go and meet and talk to them. And the sooner, the better. Try to take advantage of those resources as soon as you can. And so our student success support, what do we have available to make sure that you are achieving and being successful in your classes right now? So within the library, we do have our staff that are able to help you, such as chat. We have research consultations and research guides. So if you have any questions about what materials the library can help you out with, you can reach out to us and we can work with you to find out what best suits your needs. Now, we also have study guides, study skills books, as well as textbooks. So it's going to be different at each campus. And our materials they have to be used in the library when it comes to textbooks. But we do have resources that students can use for a short period of time within the library. But if you're taking calculus or you're in English 1102, we have those resources available to you if you can't access them right away. Now, because we have limited supply and we can't have materials for every single student, that is why they have to stay in the library and you can only have them for a short period of time. But we understand the struggle and we are working very closely with the faculty to find open resource opportunities for our classes as well. So if you do have any questions, we always are welcome. We always encourage students to talk to us about how we can better help them. But just know that there are some textbook help at the libraries, but it is limited. You can't just check them out for the entire semester. But we do also have, as I mentioned, study guides or study skills materials. So say, for example, you're taking statistics. We have these outlines that are study guides that will provide sample questions or practice questions and kind of walk you through the solution. So sort of a supplement to your textbook. And then, of course, for example, say you are pursuing a degree in dental hygiene and you're getting ready for that big exam at the end after you've completed all your classes, we have those resources that can help you study for those as well. So that's what we have in regards to our staff, our research support, our staff, and our catalog. But then we also have a lot of technology that is available for our students to help you succeed in your classes as well. So we have Chromebooks. So if access to technology or a computer is somewhat kind of keeping you from being able to complete your assignments and so forth, you can come into the library and you can check out a Chromebook for up to a week. We have graphing calculators, so if you're taking a math class or science class and you need that, you can check one out and you can have it out for up to a week. Same thing goes with phone chargers. We've got laptops that you can use in the library. If you're getting ready to do a presentation with a class, we have presentation remotes that make it real easy to kind of click through the slides. Mice and headphones, so if you're looking for some quiet space or just to kind of get in the zone, we even have headphones so you can do that. Several of our libraries have study spaces and we encourage collaborative space to help ensure that our students have an opportunity to work with each other and to make sure that they can help each other out in the classes as well. And last but not least is the university support services. There is a large department at GSU that its entire focus and mission is to ensure that we have the resources and services that are going to help support our students succeed. And these include our academic advisors. We have individual group tutoring. If you haven't had the chance to take advantage of it, all of our campuses have learning and tutoring centers that can provide one-on-one tutoring for math, science, writing, and their one-on-one consultations. Occasionally they have workshops, which are a little bit more of a group setting, so like math study skills and so forth, that I really encourage you taking the time to check out and take advantage of workshops such as online webinars or workshops through the library, or we work with TRIO, different groups like that, career exploration, financial aid assistance, and technology and lab assistance. So also know that there's the CAT lab, which is the computer lab on each of our campuses that can provide additional technology support. So that concludes my coverage of the resources that are available to our students for both career research and pursuing your career, as well as materials that are available to you as students. Now, I will say at Perimeter, there are several organizations that students can pursue to get some extra added help with their while they're at GSU, and that does include TRIO and LASSO and Second Wind. These are all student organizations whose goals are to help the students achieve what they're trying to accomplish while they're here at Georgia State University. But you can access those all through the University Student Support Services website as well. So I'd like to turn the time over to our attendees. If you have any questions, let me know.
And I unmuted the microphones in case you want to ask your questions out loud. Awesome. Karen, I have to agree with everything that I'm seeing. This was an excellent presentation. These resources were great. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this with us. I'm telling, I've never heard of Ferguson's until today.
Yeah, it's brand new. We did just purchase it this summer. We were looking for a resource that would kind of supplement the materials that we were seeing already available, and it seems to be a really great hit. I love the cover letter and resume section because I feel like that's an area that a lot of students can sometimes feel really like intimidated by.
Yes.
So now I do see a question. There was something regarding textbooks available from inter-college resources. Could you elaborate about what you mean by inter-college resources?
Let me see. I wonder if she means if we can borrow textbooks from other universities of Georgia libraries.
So not textbooks. We do have a service called Gill Express that we can ask other universities for their library materials. So say, for example, if you are in an English class and say you're reading The Color Purple, and we happen to not have a copy, we do. But if we happened to not have a copy, you can ask from another. You can ask another school if they have a copy, and you can send it to GSU, but not textbooks. There's kind of a gray area. So especially when you're working with materials within the humanities. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's a great resource, and we do encourage our students to take advantage of requesting materials from other universities, but textbooks like Intro to Statistics, most unfortunately, we don't do that.
Thank you, Karen. That is also good to know. So we can borrow a book from another USG library if it's available there.
Yes, and if you give me a quick second, I will share my screen with you all again. And let's see here. So if we go back to the library's homepage, back to, okay. So if we're on the homepage, you'll see that there's a link under shortcuts for library catalog. If you click on that, you'll see up here in our search bar, right now it's searching just Georgia State. Now remember, we've got a lot of libraries. We have 6 libraries that you can choose content from. But if you've looked throughout the GSU library and we do not have what you're looking for, go down and select University System of Georgia, and you can type in your book. So I'm just going to do the color purple and do a search. So now it's actually looking through the catalogs of all the universities within the USG system. So UNG, Southern, Middle State, Georgia Tech, all of them. And so then you would just look through what you're trying to find. Okay, I'm going to limit this to books just to make it easier. And so it will tell you where it's available. So yes, we have the book. I knew that we would have the book. So you'll see that it is listed. But so you'll see, like, maybe this is a specific book that you're looking for. You can check availability from other USG libraries. And so it says, okay, so there's 3 USG libraries where this is available. Now, I will let you know that there are some libraries that lend, some libraries that don't, but the system will let you know. So you'll see here that both Savannah State and Georgia College and State University will allow you to lend, they will lend their copy. So you would just select it. And then, oh, hold on one second. So before you see the option to request, you're going to be asked to sign in. So you would click the sign in. You would sign in as a student, faculty, and staff. I've already logged in because I've logged in when I logged in for Ferguson's, but again, you would just see that request to enter in your GSU username and password. Looks like my internet is starting to slow down. And now you see that there's the option to request. So if you don't see request, it just means that you're not signed in. Just sign in and then select the institution you want to borrow the item from, select request. You would tell them, of course, you're at Georgia State. You can then also request where you want to pick it up. So if you're a downtown student, you'd request Atlanta, but then you can choose from any one of the perimeter campuses as well. And then you can enter in any additional information, such as if they can't get it to you by the end of the month, you can put that in. or any additional information, and click request. And it's as simple as that. Kind of a several steps to get to it, but if you ever run into any issues, know that you can call or chat or come into the library, and one of our library staff would be more than happy to help you figure it out.
That is awesome. Thank you, Karen.
You're very, very welcome.
So before Karen leaves us,
yep.
Are there, go ahead. You're probably
nope.
about to say the same thing.
I was about to ask if there are any more questions.
Karen, I think that you covered it.
All right. Well, well, I'm going to leave everybody with my email address. If you have any questions, you can't remember the name of one of the resources we covered, or you'd like any additional help, please feel free to email me. I'd be more than happy to kind of walk you through it via email or to set up a one-on-one consultation. So just feel free to reach out to me if you need to.
Awesome. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today, for presenting for us today. You shared some great information, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
And to our participants, we appreciate you all taking the time to log in, listen, and ask questions. Thank you so much because we're doing the presentation for you, and you all being here, you all truly help make the presentation better. So we thank you all for taking the time. And we hope that everyone enjoys the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.